Hello, guys. Hello. Let's go. Let's get it. Oh, how are we doing? How are we doing? Let me share this live stream with the chat. Okay. Okay. So, guys, to start off the stream, hello, guys. How are we doing? We're bouncing a bit for Bitcoin. However, I do want to say straight away, I want to start off with saying, I do not want to get too ahead of myself. I do not want to scream, oh, you should have taken this trade, blah blah. Because I think if I'm gonna do that, it will easily, quickly backfire on me. Okay, honestly, yeah, it's great and all. We have entered. Now it's looking like a pretty good trade here at somewhat of a bottom, but having a look into the structure and having a look into the trend, it would not surprise me to still come down lower, to still dip below the entry, and to still grab some liquidity below. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. Yeah, it's nice and all right now. So far, so good. It's looking good. If you're really if you're like panicking, or if you're not sure about the trade, what I would do, I'm not gonna do that myself, but what I would do is place a stop loss in your profit and maybe take a little bit of profit off the table, let it ride, and if it would dip back down, well, then obviously you're all good. The entry was good, so if you're nervous about the trade, well, then you can do that. Now, other than that, yeah, it's looking quite good. Like I've shared also in the Platinum group, if you are in it, well, then congratulations, because then you know about it already. But we've also got a 0.5 level, Fibonacci level of support. If we're going to come down, I do think we're going to grab that, hit that, and then maybe we can bounce. However, the 0.618 level is also pretty interesting in my personal opinion. And I definitely do think that somewhat of a bounce from this golden pocket Fibonacci level of support could also be a very good trade to be made. And honestly, I'm thinking about placing another order down below, because if Bitcoin is gonna come down, it's gonna head down lower again. Well, I do think that this is a pretty good level over here at the 64.8k level approximately. I do think you can already place orders at the 65k level, because if I'm gonna have a look, if I'm gonna open this and let's say add 0.65, well then it's coming in lower, so 64.3. So anywhere in between of this region, I would say, is a pretty good place to enter another order if you're feeling like it. I myself, as of for now, just let it ride. I'll do nothing. I'll just see how it goes, and yeah, chill in this trade. I've set a pretty good risk to reward for myself. If we're gonna come up and reach my take profit, what was it again? I will make a 40k profit. If we're gonna come to this cluster level of resistance, and if we're gonna come down lower, if we're gonna hit the stop loss, it's gonna be like a 10k, maybe 15k loss. So for me, the risk to reward is pretty worth it, and yeah, I'm just looking to be riding it. So that's the first thing about the trade. Just a little bit of a trade update, what I think might be happening next. And like I said, well, I do not want to get too ahead of myself. Yes, we are in a nice little bounce right now, but this could easily reverse. And yeah, do not be too egotistical about this right now. I would say, because it will backfire on you, pretty likely, I think. Anyways, that's a little bit about the trade that we have entered. Then I would also like to say some thesis behind the trade is basically that we're grabbing the lows, and everybody is capitulating again. Everybody is becoming bearish again. at the lows. I can see a lot of people really being scared. A lot of people are talking about we're gonna come down lower, and yeah, we could come down. Like I've shared a bit lower, we could come down to Fibonacci levels of support, but that's not what I'm talking about. People are really suggesting that we're gonna come down and grab these lows again. That we're gonna come down to the 60k level again. And while I do agree that will happen, probably it's not gonna happen now. Probably on the daily time frame, we will see a bit of consolidation here, a bit of a push to the upside. You know, grab that 74k region, probably to the upside first. Then after that, see the push to the downside, fill up the wick, because usually these liquidity wicks, they tend to be getting filled up. So fill up the wick, and then after that, decide, right? I do think that eventually after this, we will come down even lower, see a bit of a bounce there, and you know the inevitable trend will be to the downside still. Okay, the inevitable trend will be to the downside still. Do I think we're gonna see another push to the downside straight now? No, I do not think so. I do think that a bit of a bounce is to be expected from off this level. It's not gonna be a big like 50% bounce from off this level. It's just gonna be a small trade. It's just gonna be a small little bounce to level of resistance, and then we can have a look into placing some short trades again. But yeah, I didn't want to miss this trade over here. A bit of a long trade to be made, in my personal opinion. If we feel it, so be it, right? But I do not think we're gonna come down straight to the downside. And having a look into the levels now, I do think that this would be a pretty realistic and good level to see a bit of a bounce, especially coupled that with combining that with the fact that everybody is capitulating, getting bearish now, and thinking that we're gonna come crash straight to the downside. So yeah, that's kind of the thesis right over there. Also hitting some good levels of support on the lower time frames and on the higher time frames. Then what else do we have? Yeah, like ultimately in a medium time frame, I agree. Probably we're gonna come down even lower, but that's kind of the general thesis, right? Everybody is kind of expecting that. Everybody, if I'm having a look around me right now, everybody is kind of now starting to agree that probably we're gonna come down even lower in the medium time frames. Pretty much everybody, and I still remember very well over here during this transitioning phase, how I was calling it. I was telling and saying to everybody, yeah, we have like 99% sure topped out. Probably we're gonna head down even lower. Okay, but during this time, everybody around me was still kind of doubting. They were still like, is it really gonna happen? I'm not quite sure. We could also break to the upside. And I was like, yeah, it could happen, but I've set good invalidations. If that happens, well, then sure. But right now, that's not going to be my base case. And everybody around me was still kind of like doubtful, was still thinking, we could still bounce to the upside. It was still kind of 50-50, right? There were still a lot of bullish guys. Right now, there's nobody bullish out there anymore. I don't really see anybody being bullish. And if people are bullish, it's bullish in the long term. People are bullish, like knowing that maybe in a shorter time frame we could go down lower and then ultimately go up. But nobody is really bullish in the short term. Nobody really is saying, super cycle anymore. It's a bull trap. I mean, it's a bear trap. Nobody is really saying that anymore. So because of that as well, I think we might see a bit of a push to get back everybody back bullish again, right? And that push, that bounce, is going to persist. It's going to continue until people are back bullish again, until people are becoming hopeful again. I do think so. That's what I do think. But also, on the complete opposite side, I do want to mention, I mean, it is a bear market in the end of the day, right? It is definitely a bear market. Things will go lower, much lower than most people expect, much lower than most people anticipate. Things will go this low where people think, how is this even possible? When people think, how is that even possible? Then we form a bit of a local bottom. Then we will see a bit of a bottoming out stage, right? So yeah, that is just some thoughts that I have right now at the moment. On top of that, like I've shared, medium time frame probably gonna continue to go to the downside, but ultimately If we're gonna see something like that, well, if the Fed will jump in and save us, will do a bailout, they're gonna inject liquidity, push interest rates to zero again, and that's ultimately only going to be the best thing that could ever happen to us, because that's literally gonna be a blessing disguised as a crash. Literally, it's most traders will panic if we're gonna continue down even lower and sell the bottom. But smart money will recognize that this is the last chance to accumulate before the money printer will go. I mean, it's gonna print a lot of freaking money again. It's gonna print a lot of money again. That is what we will do. And yep, the dumb money, they're starting to capitulate already. They're starting to capitulate already, and we have only entered like 150 days of the Bitcoin bear market yet, so we've still got even more time, and more time to accumulate more Bitcoin for us, and also more time for people to capitulate and for Bitcoin prices to push down even lower, for people to think, oh, is it really over this time? Is it really not gonna recover? And yeah, for us, it's only gonna be a blessing, because we are aware of this fact. We are aware of what's gonna happen next, and we are aware of the fact that we should be accumulating that, okay? So for us, it's gonna be very easy and very simple. Anyways, for today's stream, let me see if I tweeted it over here today. Get to tweet. Have you traded inverse perpetuals? Yeah, I'm doing that whenever I'm like on the long side with a swing trade. I'm gonna do it again at the bear market bottoms. Anyways, today, in 15 minutes time from now, we're about to get the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. So we're gonna have a look into this data live, and we're gonna have a look into this live, and it's pretty easy. Okay, it's pretty easy. What we are gonna be looking for, because we want the Fed to cut interest rates, so kind of stimulate the market, right? That is what we want. If they are gonna lower the interest rates, it will be bullish for our risk on assets, like for example Bitcoin, and like for example altcoins. So we want lower interest rates. What we need in order to get lower interest rates is a weaker economy, weaker labor market, and lower inflation rate. So if we're gonna see a weaker labor market, well, that will stimulate and push the Fed to lower down the interest rates, to stimulate the economy, to stimulate the labor market again, because they do not want like a recession to happen or the labor market to get very weak. So they need to stimulate again if we're gonna see a weaker labor market, which in return will push the crypto markets as well, which will push risk on assets. So very basic, very simple. We want to see weaker labor market, and that's bullish for risk on assets like Bitcoin. That is how the market interprets it. I mean, I honestly disagree, because if you're gonna have a better labor market, we have more money for more people to pour more money into Bitcoin. We have a better economy. So, but I mean, for the risk on assets, they disagree, because we want lower inflation rates, so money is cheap again, and people can borrow a lot of money, and they can pour that borrowed money into the economy and Bitcoin. So that is what the market wants. I would say, okay, yeah, if we got more labor, from I mean, that would make a lot of sense, right? If we got more labor growth and a better labor market, well, then the economy would be better and then Bitcoin would rise. Now, that's not how the market thinks. The market thinks, oh, we want lower interest rates. That is bullish, okay? So, very simple. Do not overcomplicate it. Weaker labor market is bullish. So, higher unemployment rate is bullish. The forecast is sitting at the 4.5%. Okay, so anywhere above 4.5%, if the data will come in anywhere above 4.5%, that's bullish for the crypto market, and we are about to see a bit of a push. Non-farm payrolls is basically jobs added. So if we're going to see less jobs added, that is bullish for the markets. So if we're going to see consensus is 70 and forecast 40, that's weird. But anyway, I would say anywhere below 40K, that's bullish, okay? Less jobs added than 40K is below the predicted, forecasted rate. Well, that's going to be bullish for the markets. Very easy, okay? So, to summarize it, higher than 4.5% unemployment rate is bullish. Lower than 40K non-farm payrolls is bullish, okay? Very easy. Now then, higher than 70K non-farm payrolls is bearish. Lower unemployment rate than 4.5% is going to be bearish. Very easy. Okay, very, very simple, very easy. And then you just need to have a look into the data live. Follow profiles like me over on X. Follow profiles like Financial Juice on X, and then turn on your notifications, or like use a Bloomberg terminal. Like just use whatever you prefer to get the data the quickest as possible. But for me, I have found that usually over on X, you are pretty damn quick. You're before the move actually happens. So with that, yeah, you would be pretty good off. You would be pretty well off, and then you can still anticipate on the markets if anything big happens. Now, I myself am already sitting in this trade, so I will just have a look into the data. But you yourself could be placing a bit of a trade base depending on the news. I'm not going to be doing anything with this trade. I'm not going to be closing it. I'm not going to be adding to it. Like I've said in the beginning of today's live stream, my game plan is very clear, very simple. If we maybe come down to the 64.5K level, maybe I'm going to be adding at around that level. But other than that, I just have my stop loss in place. I just have my TP in place. It's going to be very easy, very simple for me. Anywhere in between, I'm not really going to be doing anything other than maybe adding a little bit more money into my trade if we come down here. Okay, so for me, it's going to be very simple. I'm not going to make any drastic changes, just going to be chilling inside of this trade. But for sure, we can have a look into the data live, and I have traded the data live together with you guys in the past, and we have made some very nice profits with that. Because yeah, you can make some nice profits from this news if you know what you're looking for, and I've just explained where you need to be looking for exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if you know what you're looking for right now, and if you're quick, well then you can make a nice quick little scalp, some nice quick profits. If you like that. Anyways, if you're going to be getting interested in trading or like profiting from this move, on this newest move, well then check out the 2-bit link with that link down below, because you can claim a $60,000 deposit bonus and also a 25% trading fee discount with my link. Also $800,000 trading tournament, which is definitely very valuable. Check out with that link down below. I myself am currently trading over on 2-bit. It is definitely currently the best exchange out there if you're interested in trading with the cheapest fees, with no KYC, and with good liquidity, with a good user interface. So definitely check it out, okay, with that link down below. Anyways, that's basically it now. We're going to have a look into the data, and the data is going to be coming in 8 minutes time. If you have any questions, guys, make sure to drop it in the live chat, because I can be answering your guys' question right now live while we are going to be waiting for the data. On top of that, I'll be sharing a bit more alpha. I've got one more alpha really lines up. So gonna have a look into that later. Hi all. Are we neck deep in a bear market? Well, it depends what you mean by neck deep in a bear market. I mean, for sure, we're trading in a bear market. Probably we're going to be headed down even lower. But for me, it's going to be very simple. Yeah, probably you can easily call it a bear market, in my personal opinion. I've no problem with that. But definitely, I already am starting to accumulate right now already. Probably we're going to be headed down even lower. That is my base case. That is what I do think is going to happen ultimately. But I do think that it is already wise to start dollar cost averaging into the market, to accumulate the market already, because ultimately I do think that the current levels that we're trading at are some pretty good accumulation levels. So probably we're going to be headed down even lower, but ultimately this is a very good accumulation range already. So even if you're going to call it a bear market, yeah, we're trading in a bear market. Probably we're going to be coming down even lower, but I think it's a pretty attractive level that we're trading at. Have studied any Bayer, Jensen, Gunn, Plumber, McLaren, Jenkins? No, I did not. Kaspa is pumping, very nice for Kaspa. I'm not in any altcoins right now at this moment. Do you think it will come down lower? Yes, ultimately, I do think it will come down even lower. Right now, at this exact current moment, no, not really. Don't really think so. I'm in a long position. Everybody is kind of capitulating now. Everybody is really becoming bearish again right now. I do think that it's a pretty good opportunity. We can come down a bit lower, but ultimately, I do think we're gonna, like in shorter time frames, we're gonna be headed higher again, and then in a medium time frame, I do think we're gonna come down lower again. I see 40k as the max low. Kinda agreed. Kinda. I mean 40k, yeah. I agree. I do not think Bitcoin will dip below the 40k. If it would dip below the 40k, it would be like 39 maximum, right? Maximum, but lower than that, no, I agree. I do not think it's gonna be very likely. Mr. Crypto, I'm only spotting altcoins, but 49% down. Need to wait for altcoin season. Rough position that you're in my opinion. It's always rough and hard to sell, especially if you're on a loss. But I do think that most altcoins, if you have a look into historical facts, they've always come down even lower inside of bear market. So it are just going to be rough, tough questions you need to answer yourself, but I cannot make any suggestions for you on that. Okay, I'm a long-term holder. You can call it a retail buyer and not a trader. So it's good to add more of Sol, Cardano links to other than Bitcoin. Well, for me, I'm just buying Bitcoin myself now. A little bit of Ethereum. But I think Ethereum, especially if we're going to come down dip even lower, I'm really interested in Ethereum. I think Ethereum in the long term is going to be great. I think it's going to be insane, honestly, Ethereum. So eventually every altcoin will explode, yeah. Especially if we're going to see the Fed bailing us out again, if we're going to see this big crash, and if we're going to see Fed injecting liquidity again, if we're going to see interest rates being near zero again, which this perfectly ties into the data we are about to have a look into. Because if the labor market again will appear to be weaker as expected again, as predicted, as anticipated, well then that's bullish for our altcoins in the long term. Short term, not so much, I think so. Bitcoin dominance can see a bit of a bump. But ultimately, if the data will come in higher as expected, so higher unemployment rate and less jobs added, that's bullish for the market right now, because we're going to see lower interest rates, and lower interest rates, if we're going to see that, it's going to be long term very good for Ethereum. Okay, very good. Very, very good. I've explained that also in my videos. So anyways, 3 minutes time until we're gonna have a look into the data. So I've already told you exactly what I'm looking for myself. Lower non-farm payrolls as forecasted and higher unemployment rate as forecasted. That is bullish. So that's what I'm looking for myself. What is it? It's a rug. Luckily, I did not invest in it myself. A lot of people invested in this. TGE KPIs they can't even reach. That's crazy. That is crazy. Damn. Anyways, how I'm getting the data is going into my following tab, most recent posts, and turning on my notifications and watching the notifications. What is? All right. I keep hearing. So 1 minute ago, by the way, just already talked about what I'm looking for. Gonna see if we're gonna get any crazy moves. Would be great to get a bit of a pump, but let's see. Like I've said, I would not be surprised to see a bit of a move to the downside first, then see that move. I would not be surprised. It is about time, right? Time already. 20 seconds to go. I keep hearing that 60K is a production cost for Bitcoin, saying miners won't let it go lower than that. I mean, it could go lower than that. Miners have less and less say in where the price will go over time, because less Bitcoin gets mined, more of the supply is already active on the market, so they have less and less say. Oh, we're pumping. It's time. Okay, it is time. What is the data? What is it? Gosh, on off 67. Data is already out. Non-farm payrolls 130K. That's much higher than expected. That's bearish. Unemployment rate actual 4.3. That's bearish, guys. That's bearish. How are we pumping? It must be a fake pump, no? Must be a fake pump. What is going on? So, like you can see, payrolls 130K. So it's higher, much higher. And unemployment rate is lower than expected. So that's bearish. That's bearish, but we did see a bit of a pump. I imagine it must be some kind of a fake pump, honestly. Like I've said, I will not do anything to my trade. I will not do anything with my trade, but this is very surprising how the price will react to this current news. I think if we're fake pumping now on like kind of bearish news, there must be something bullish going on, right? There must be something bullish going on. Maybe the market is switching it up right now. Maybe the market. I mean, either we're kind of the market is getting giga bullish, kind of. That's how I would interpret it. But that is not really the case, honestly, because we're still kind of trading in a bear market. So it's either that or the market is really right now starting to get scared of a recession. And now this data will confirm that we're not actually in a recession. Okay, so I think it might be that. And in that case, we need to have a look into the data completely differently. In that case, the market kind of switched up on us. And in that case, it's not anymore the higher unemployment rate we want. It's actually lower unemployment rate that we want. Or actually not lower unemployment rate, but like non-recessionary data. Okay, so let me tell you, the unemployment rate is lower than expected. So how is that bearish? Well, previously that is exactly what the market wanted, because the market wanted lower interest rates, which is bullish for risk on assets. And in order to get lower interest rates, the Fed needed to see a weaker labor market and lower inflation. So if you're going to see higher unemployment rate, it's a weaker labor market, and the Fed is incentivized to push down the interest rates, which is bullish for risk on assets like Bitcoin. But right now, it seems like the market is kind of switching up, and it seems like the market doesn't want us to be headed for a recession instead. So it's very weird, okay? And right now the market is changing, it's adapting to current news events that we're seeing, and right now the market is kind of different. It's looking like that. But let's see, okay? We are reaching this level of resistance now. If we break back inside of the range, now, I would say break back above like 68k with like a 44-hour close. Well, then I would say put stop loss in the profit, maybe take some profits off the table, and we're all good. We're chilling with this trade. But right now, it's not the case yet, okay? Honestly, this price action is kind of crazy. This price action is kind of crazy. All right, let's see. Coming back down. I mean, we are testing a massive level for Bitcoin now, right? If you want to draw it out, for this previous level, it is quite a big. It is quite a big level. Let's have a look. It's basically this recession fears right now are going away. So, I mean, in a sense, what is this market is really sometimes surprising. This is honestly quite surprising, because the market also wants a higher unemployment, but at the same time now also lower unemployment, which is both bullish, because if we're gonna see higher unemployment, it's bullish because interest rates will go down, and we're gonna see lower unemployment, recession fears are going away. So it's also bullish. That's kind of crazy. Let's see if we can break this level of resistance. That's really gonna be the most important level to break. Anyways, make sure to press up that like button. That would really be amazing if you can do that. Everybody that's watching could do that. candle was literally the tiniest of bumps. I mean, on job data, 1% bump is quite big, honestly. If you're talking about tiniest of bumps, but on job data, we have done a lot of what? Why do you hide your leverage and important stats on the screen? Well, my man, it's because during the last stream, people were asking, oh, can you please show the price on the chart on my trading view here on the right side? So I moved my screen here to the right side, okay? And right now, people are asking to show my left side of the screen. But I mean, the leverage, I'm not sure if it's the most important part about the trade, honestly. Okay, but here you go. You can see it. I just am showing the right side of the screen now because last stream people were asking for that, and now you cannot see the left side of the screen, right? Because of that. Bit of volatility here today. Nice, nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can we break above this resistance? Would be amazing. Fabulous. So for the people that are coming new to the stream, unemployment rate was lower than expected and non-farm payrolls was higher than expected. So recession fears looks to be going away, which is bullish for the markets. It's looking like, okay. It's looking like with this current pump. No problem. Can you check the RSI? I mean, on what chart? What time frame? I mean, on the 4-hour time frame. It's looking like that. Up, up, up. Are we seeing anything interesting? Not really. Not really. Well, it's kind of boring. It would be very nice if we break back above this range instead of the range. But yeah, let's see. I assume we will get a bit of a relief rally and then we have a major dump. I mean, yeah, a bit. I just think that ultimately we're gonna come down trending to the downside even further. But a bit of a relief, yeah, that's happening, you know? Yeah, we're getting retraced by this level of resistance. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. Volatility here was kind of crazy, but yeah, it's all good for me. I'm just gonna let this trade play out. Just gonna ride it out. Just gonna do nothing. Like I've said in the beginning of the stream. Anyways, guys, I will close down the stream. I have a meeting coming up pretty soon. Anyways, if you're interested in trading, make sure to check out the 2-bit link down below. Join the Platinum group with the first link down below. With the 2-bit link down below, you can be grabbing some big deposit bonuses and also a 25% trading fee discount, which is definitely very valuable to check out. And also join the Platinum group because over there, I'm sharing every single update about my trades, etc. in absolute real time. So make sure to join with the links down below. And with that being said, subscribe to